Knocked one.
Star out. Frag out. Throwing frag. Not so fast.
Above one in.
Reloading. Cut down an enemy. Another taken down.
Alright, guys. There's another one.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about another 5 tips to improve in Apex Legends. These are tips that I wish I knew when I first started, so if you really want to improve quickly and efficiently, then these tips are for you. Alright, let's get into it. Tip 1. Look while dropping. When jumping off the dropship, either you're the jump master or if you're just tagging along for the ride, we each have a role to play. Yes, even if you're just gliding in the air waiting to hit the ground, what you do in the moment matters just as much as if you were in a fight. If you're jump master, your goal is to land at your selected spot as quickly and safely as possible, but make sure you're also aware of your surroundings. A good rule of thumb is when being jump master is to look around in the air once after the initial jump out of the ship to get a good idea where people are going, and once when you're about 175 to 200 meters to the ground. This lets you see the remaining teams that are going to the same POI as you. Now, if you're not the jump master, you should be looking at every location around you. Up, down, left, right, down, up, left. You get it. Everywhere. Your job is to figure out how many teams are near you, who's going where, and communicating this with your team. This lets you plan ahead on which path you should take, where to avoid, where to third party, and so on. I understand it gets boring sometimes and you use this time to look at your phone or get a drink or do whatever. I'm guilty of this as well, but once you start looking and getting an idea of where everyone is before you land, you will make rotations and playing the map much easier. Tip 2. Use cover. Now once you hit the ground and start getting into some fights, you want to make sure that you are using cover. Apex fights are really fast paced, and with the majority of the guns being really strong, the chances of you getting beamed with the one clip are really high. To avoid this, you need to make sure you are always utilizing cover. This can be a wall, death box, gibby bubble, even a downed player can make some decent cover. Now you don't want to just camp behind a spot the whole entire game or fight either. Movement is a huge key in Apex, so you need to keep moving. But keep in mind, if you have an opportunity to use some cover instead of just standing in the middle of the open, you will have a better chance of surviving and winning that fight. I like to stick to the 50-50 rule when possible. This is when you have 50% of your screen behind something and the other 50% where you can shoot an enemy or gain information. Tip number 3. Aggressive or passive. Most players in Apex think you have to be either aggressive, run up on every shot you hear, get into fights, and third party every squad in the lobby. Other players think you have to be passive and hide for the entire match without a single kill, run away from every team they see or hear, or wait in a building until the end of the game only to make it to the last ring just to end up getting aped by everyone. Now the mistake with this way of thinking is there isn't just one side. If you want to be good at Apex and work your way to being one of the best players in the game, you need to find a good balance between the two. Pick the fights that will benefit you. Find power positions on the map and hold those positions. When enemy teams try to push you, this is where you want to have that balance between the two. You don't want to leave your spot running straight towards them, guns blazing. Instead, hold your position and let them know that you're not moving, and that you can hit your shots. This will give your team the upper hand, especially if you're holding the edge of the ring, because any teams outside of the ring, or just ended up in a bad position, will have more pressure on them. This may lead them to making a mistake, giving you the advantage. Also doing this, you will stay alive longer and give yourself more KP in the process. Tip 4. Holster your weapon. When you have your gun out, your movement speed will slow down. Movement is one of the biggest things in Apex and one of the key aspects that make this game fun and different from many other battle royales. But when you don't have any velocity, it's harder to slide, wall bounce, or do anything that involves movement. So while you're running, either that's to reposition or just to get to the next ring, you need to make sure that your gun is holstered. Doing this will allow you to increase your velocity while moving, giving you max speed. And like I said in a previous video, every second counts. So make sure if you're not shooting or in a position when you need to move as fast as possible, make sure that you holster your current weapon. Tip 5. Slide jump around corners. Now speaking of movement and combining tip number 2 using cover, this is where you could start having some fun. This is also one of my favorite fighting techniques. So say you're in a 1v1 and you need to push up around a corner. Instead of just slowly peeking that corner or running around blindly just to get shot, try slide jumping instead. This gives you the advantage because you will move around the corner faster and more unpredictable, making you a much harder target to hit. This will throw your enemy off, making them having to readjust to a new position, and it will also throw off their aim. If done correctly, you will have downed them or done enough damage to where your teammates can finish them off, or where they will need a backup and heal. This will take some practice to master, but it's definitely a satisfying feeling when you start to get this down. Anyways, there's a few tips that you can start implementing in your game immediately and start seeing improvement quicker and more efficiently. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. I hope this video was valuable and that you were able to learn something new from it. If you have any other tips, make sure you drop them down in the comments below, and make sure you join the public Discord to be the first to know when a new video is up. Anyways guys, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Peace.